Hi, in this video I would like to share with you my experience with this super automatic espresso machine, which is Delonghi Primadonna Aromatic, and with which I have spent almost 4 months as for now, almost daily use, so I'm now ready to give my review. And I will show you, of course, all the recipes it knows, all the main settings and main functions. However, let me start firstly with explaining why, in my opinion, this is very important model in Delonghi's model range. Now and at least for the next year also, I believe. That is not because Delonghi Primadonna Aromatic is the most expensive model. No, it's quite reasonably priced, honestly. It is not because it is the most premium model. No, that's because it's the most functional model. What I mean? Here in this machine, in one place, we have all the new features, all the new functions that they have previously and separately introduced on other top-notch Delonghi models. Now we have it in one place. Namely, I'm speaking about the new flat burr grinder, the bin adapt function, and the new dispenser, which is detachable now, so you can open it up to clean it out. This three function was firstly and almost exclusively introduced in the year 2020 on the Delonghi Primadonna Soul model. Why I'm saying almost exclusively? Because new flat burr grinder was also available on the Delonghi Maestoso. But all other Delonghi machines still have old conical burr grinder. Here we have the new grinder, as I said. On the other hand, we have here new functions that came from Delonghi Eletta Explore, which was a flagship model of the year 2022, and it was all about cold drinks. You see, we have, for example, two milk frothers here. One is black, classic milk frother, automatic of course, for hot milk foam, and the white one for cold milk foam. Also, we have here the new function, again came from Eletta Explore, which they called cold brew. Of course, that's not the real cold brew like in the coffee shops, because real cold brew is prepared for 8 hours at least, all night long. Here, anyhow, we have some technology to brew cold black coffee. Combining these two factors together, you understand, so that we can make cold cappuccino based on cold brew espresso and cold milk foam, for example. So, now we have all these functions in one machine. If previously you had to choose, if the cold drinks are more important for you, go for Eletta Explore. If the new grinder is more important for you, go for Maestoso or for Soul. Now we have one ultimate model. Honestly speaking, there is one function that they didn't put here, one premium function. It is the sensor inside the bean hopper to warn you in advance that you're gonna run out of beans soon. Here, we don't have it, they didn't put this function here, so it can happen that you will run out of the beans in the middle of the grinding cycle. But that's not the biggest issue, I believe. So, now let me show you the drinks. I will put camera more closer. No, I will need to tell you one more thing. There are different models under the Delonghi Primadonna Aromatic name. I have the model which ends with .75. There are also .55 and .35. There are few differences between them, but I will describe the difference in the description. So let me now show you the drinks. So what we have here on this colorful touch screen, first of all we have 4 profiles for 4 different people. Each of them can use its own color and own pre-configured saved recipes. We also have bin adapt, which I already mentioned. If you switch it on, it has 2 parts. First part is kind of profiles for coffee beans. For example, you see, last week I used Guatemala fuego beans, and I configured it for some grind level, for some temperature, etc. Yes, by the way, here in the new coffee grinder, we have electronically moved burr, so you don't need to manually adjust the grind level. You can adjust it electronically, machine adjusts it by itself, so that's why this function became possible. So if next week I will buy the beans again, I can click the selected profile for beans, and it will configure my grind level, etc. for these beans, as I said. What is the coffee routine? You see, on the main screen we have a lot of drinks, 38 in total, and they are automatically ordered based on how frequently you brew it. For example, I brew espresso more frequently, that's why it's on the first place. But if I will switch on the coffee routine, this order will be separate for morning time, for daytime, and for the evening time. Okay, let's go back for the drinks. You can filter it by cold drinks, by hot drinks, by coffee, by milk. You can hit any picture and brew it straightforward, or you can click here and adjust some settings, which are size, which basically and obviously is the volume of the coffee drink. There are few pre-configured volumes, but there is a my function which allows you to configure it more precisely. There is an extra shot function which add extra shot of espresso to any drink. For example, if we'll go for flat white, for example, you can make it extra shot, and it will be the flat white based on double shot of espresso, of 2 shots of espresso. Let's get back to espresso. You see, there is also the intensity option, which is basically the amount of coffee that the machine will use for one serving. On the maximum settings, Delonghi as usually use around 12 grams of coffee per serving. Because it all depends on the grind level as well. However, if you will need to brew extra strong coffee, if you like extra strong coffee, you should choose the Doppio Plus recipe. On this recipe, the machine uses more long pre-infusion time, and it uses more coffee, up to 14 grams of coffee. Let's brew this recipe. You see, it makes long pre-infusion, uses a lot of coffee beans, and makes the strongest espresso. Talking about hot black coffees, we have Americano, which is a classical recipe when the espresso goes first and then the hot water goes. But we also have the long black, which is vice versa. Firstly goes hot water and then goes espresso. They call it also Australian Americano, as far as I know. And we have the filter style. The filter style is an interesting recipe. It's an interesting recipe because it imitates filter coffee somehow. I will show you now how. You see the pump working. Work, pause, work, pause. That allows to lower overall pressure and somehow in that way imitate filter coffee. But because the extraction on such a lower pressure will be less, the machine will use 2 grinds to brew filter style to make the drink more strong. You see, it automatically will grind coffee again. And continue to brew the second batch with the same lower pressure. Okay, let's stop it. That's probably all hot black coffee recipes that I need to show to you. Okay, coffee pot is just a big volume. And coming to the milk recipes, we have cappuccino. That's the recipe when you first, the machine firstly add milk foam, then espresso. We have cappuccino mix, which goes with a proper order when you first add espresso and the milk foam on top. And we also have the cappuccino plus, which uses the Doppio plus recipe I already told you about, with a strong coffee compound. Let's brew cappuccino mix, for example. The machine asks us to install the black hot milk carafe. Let's go. So as I said, espresso goes first. And then the hot milk foam goes. That splash was because I ran out of the milk. Normally it doesn't. And yes, remember to always clean the carafe after brewing. Okay. Now let's get to the cold drinks. Cold brew. That's what I already mentioned. It asks you to add ice cubes, but even without ice cubes, the coffee will be with a room temperature. Machine needs to cool down a bit. Okay, now it's ready. Oh, that's what I told you. You see, we are run out of the beans in the middle of the grinding. That's because we don't have sensor here. You see, we also have lower pressure, cold water, slowly coming through coffee. It takes around 3 minutes to brew a portion of cold brew here. Okay, and now let me show you cold milk recipes. We have here cold brew cappuccino, which is a recipe where the coffee is cold and the milk foam is cold. Or cappuccino, where coffee is hot and the milk foam is cold. Let's brew this one. It asks us to install the milk carafe for cold milk. The cold milk foam goes first, and then we have normal hot espresso. You see, the cold milk foam is not very stable, but that's an issue with any cold foamed milk in any other espresso machine by Jura or by Nivona. It's always the case, so don't expect much from the cold milk foam. Okay, save it. And let's clean the carafe again. Okay, that's probably all that I wanted to show you. Of course, we have just the hot water or tea with different temperatures, but that's not coffee-based drinks. Please hit the like button if you found this video helpful. Bye bye, thanks. Small postscriptum, I forgot to mention what is so special about this new grinder, besides it is electronically adjustable. You see all other espresso machines, automatic espresso machines by Delonghi, except, as I said, PrimaDonna Aromatic, PrimaDonna Soul and Maestosa, they all have old conical burr set. And this old grinder, it tends to give a little bit more bitter taste, if compared to competitor brands, for example, Philips, Jura, Melita, Nivona, etc. It's not a big deal if you are using dark roast or if you prefer strong and bitter Italian style espresso. However, if you will try to use specialty lightly roast coffee beans with more acidic profile, think of, I don't know, Ethiopia, Irgachev or Kenya, then with old grinder it was hard to get right taste profile. Here with the new grinder it works equally good both with light and dark roast. That's the thing. Bye again, thanks.